All right, State Farm set up. I got the roof snake. I got our shingle that we have marked off for repair right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is break the seals and look for the seam. Then figure out, which ones I got to break to pull out the nails. And once we remove all the nails from this specific shingle, we will replace a new and document this whole process so that it can be thoroughly reviewed and shown, hey, is there anything that we should, take a look at it in the form of different solution or the best solution. So with that, I'm going to go one to the left. Trying to be careful. One to the right. Got some pretty heavy mat here too. Trying to be careful so that can. Okay, so here we have our seam, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off which shingles we are going to break the bond with from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we will go right here. 8, 9. All right, so now that we have our seam, first thing I'm going to do, start it's tough. I will show you what this looks like as soon as we get through breaking the seam, but this shingle has cracked and torn already, and if you were to look at the backside, you can see where that tar bond that has been sealed for quite a while has ripped right off the back of the shingle as well. So that one I already did. I have to do this one. That one's not bad. Probably because it's by the valley. So. Okay. So this one, not super bad, although the edges have broken and cracked right here, and you can see granulars coming down the roof. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one's not that bad. That's a good sign. Caught the tar right here pretty heavily. Some of these seem like they are a little unfeasible here. Come on. Okay. So tar bonds have been broken on that one, and I will show documenting the process on that before we get any further, just to kind of demonstrate what it is that we're looking at. Of course, this is our damaged shingle that we will be repairing. Our seam is right here, and as you can see, just by breaking bond, we're cracking and breaking these shingles like a cracker. Snap, crackle, pop, crumble apart in your fingertips, where we have a pretty large tear right here. Same with over here. And this is by doing things lightly. Let's see which one has the tar right here on the backside of the shingle. Some significant level of mat that is torn through. If you feel the backside, you can feel a big hole that's torn in there. These ones are the one we're replacing. Not bad, not bad. And then you can start to see just like a little bit of cracking, increasing up here at the top. And this is the row above. And we haven't even, pulled the nails out yet. Which one has our, look at that. Look at that significant level of mat. And I'm being very careful on how much I lift that up. But that's a pretty significant amount of mat. And let's see, there are, yep, right here, 2 in that second row above. So we have a pretty big rip and tear right here, and you can kind of tell just from the top side of the shingle how it wanted to tear almost right through, just from the tar bond. Let's see on the tar bond. So I'm going to document that process halfway through, show things as they are, and then next step is we are going to remove the nails from the row above and the row above that to then pull the shingle out and replace with a new one, and documenting that whole process as well. So let me set this camera back up. Just making sure we can see good. All right. I'm going to take the roof snake and I am going to find our first set of nails, which looks like the first one may have pulled through already just by breaking the bond. I can see the hole where the nail used to be, but it's under there somewhere. I don't want to lift things too high until we can get a little bit further in the process and then figure out where that nail is so that we can remove it and not leave it in there. Make sure that everything's nice and flush. Let's see what we... So this one tore right through the shingle trying to remove the nail. And let's see if I can get that out properly. Keep in mind, that shingle I just lifted is the shingle we are replacing. I don't want to be scrutinized for that. It's already damaged. So are these, technically, but we will be very, very careful in how we lift those up. So, there is our second nail. There we go. Oh, man. What am I not hitting here? There we go. All right. Some of these nails are a little stubborn. They've been in there a while. All right, so that's our second nail. Let's get our third. Looks like there was only 3 to address on this one. Oh man, that is a clear rip right through the shingle on that one. Trying to get the nail. That's our third nail. That's from the first row above. Let's see where we are. Some of these are very stubborn. They're ripping right through the shingle, and then they're hard to get out from there as is. All right, hopefully that's it. All right, here we go. It's the first nail out of the second row. Come on. Where you at? There we go. Trying to get my finger on it so I don't have to lift. All right. That is our second nail, third nail. Third, and this should be hopefully the last one. And we got a massive tear in this shingle right here trying to get this nail. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as we get done. But just to represent where we are, let's see if this is loose. Okay, this is loose, but we are going to document all things to kind of show. This is the shingle we've just pulled out, and there are some areas of pretty heavy mat transfer where you can see the fiberglass thatching on this shingle right here from the back sides of these, just in breaking the tar bond initially, which of course by any standards, if this were to be looked at upon day of adjustment inspection, this would be looked at as damaged, right? I mean, there's no clear way around that. When this level of matting is present, and this isn't even the most of it, by the way, this is just the first I can show here without having to lift up these shingles too high to document. But when this is present, that means it has torn a hole, basically a big freaking hole in the backside of the shingle. And since these are already broken and cracked, let me show for how flimsy this back would be and how easy it would be upon the condition of the surrounding shingles to completely rip right through the backside of them. But that as is, this shingle from the first row above has been damaged already by every standard. I want to document that very clearly just by breaking bond, right? And so now if I was to show you the backsides, which have torn, let's see, this one starting to crack and crease. You can see this level of granulars. This one above, from the first row above, you can see how it has started to crack and tear in that corner and created a level of creasing already starting and forming across the top. This one's almost there, right? You can see that starting to form at the top by all standards. This one, not as bad. This one, but however, these, look at the level of mat transfer behind this one. And this is the second row, right? Same over here, and a pretty large fat chunk missing off right there. So this is already demonstrating that the level of repairability with, you know, very normal soft effort is fairly low, to which will absolutely 100% create consequential and subsequent damage to the surrounding areas. And all we have done is break bond and remove the nails. Haven't even slid a new one in and put new nails in, but we will do that next and document that whole process and then see where things are from here. Put new nails in, because I don't think they are good enough to hold. Some of them have been bent, and hopefully we can leave a proper repair intact in the meantime, till we can figure out what the best solution is. And if for any reason seems like there needs to be a tarp to limit any water or anything coming into the home, I will obviously do so. But we have that shingle pulled for now as well, the damaged shingle that we will utilize for the RLS that State Farm has requested, and leave that on the property. Just going to make sure we can get this one in nice and tight, and then we will secure all areas and make sure that for this process we've documented all things clearly. So with that, get the roof snake and the first couple nails in. All right, first nail going into the first row, right into the tar strip. Got our first nail in. Move over to the end so I can secure it in place. Nice and tight. Not moving it over the allowable elbow of the snake. Perfect. Now we will get our third nail in. What's the move on me? Third nail in, and now we will put our last one in the first row. Okay, we're nice and flush. We got 4 more to go, and then we will document the process and wrap this all up. Nice and flush. Flush. Third nail in the second row, and this will be our last nail in the second row, and then we will document all things from here and submit everything to State Farm for review. Sorry, we're not all the way flush right here. All right, so let me document where we are, and then we will get all things wrapped up. This is the shingle that we have repaired, and we have already demonstrated signs of significant matte and granular loss and a little bit of cracking and creasing so far. Delamination present on the back side of this shingle, which would, or the front side of this shingle, which would obviously be the back side of the ones directly above that we pulled out. And just to show for the rest of the scenarios here, I'll get my chalk, what we are looking at the row above. This is a row directly above, right? Keep in mind there's a seam, how the row above operates, to where I believe this section right here is going to the left, and that section right there is going to the right, which of course is connected to the valley. So we have clear levels of creasing right here at the top of this one, right? Clear levels of creasing at the second row above, right here. Here's the one even next to this one. This one, second row above, clearly demonstrated, look. And this is the one that has that, since it's already clearly damaged, then I can lift it up and show you. This is the one with that significant level of matte and tearing from the back. And then look at this hole right here of these two shingles, right? Of trying to pull the nail out. Look at how these have cracked entirely. And I'm only lifting up this high because this is obviously already clearly damaged and must be repaired or replaced as consequential. And then in the process showing you what's underneath, which is relevant information, pertinent data, right? So this, by all standards, is clear evidence that, you know, these shingles are what would be considered non-repairable. This is the one next to that. So we've got clear signs of cracking and creasing up there. This is really the only one that does not have a level of tearing, at least that I can see, but there is some significant mat on the back side of it, which is showing that the likelihood of continuously breaking the bond all across the roof is only going to create more and more of this, which of course within this row directly above it, we have this cracking, we have this tearing and creasing. And then once again, I'm thinking, because this one was a little bit more pliable and loose, because it's over here in the valley and it's been saturated for quite a while. But it still shows evidence that this shingle needs to be repaired, which is going this way. So this is part of it. And this one is going this way, which must be repaired or replaced. And then the same thing is going to domino across the roof, strung out in every section, especially when we have repairs that must need to be addressed in various areas that will just continuously domino and cascade across the roof, making it more justified and have more sense feasibly and in labor wise as well to replace the slope in full and you know, replace the roof the right way, and make sure that it gets done, you know, by a great company who's going to take care and service the homeowner. And, you know, I'm also going to put an architectural grade shingle back onto the roof, regardless of whether the insurance company is accounting for it or not, because we don't believe in putting this 3-tab builder grade material back on to the roofs that we address. So automatically right there, State Farm will be a little bit more protected in any future losses by removing that liability, where our company's going to come in and do things the right way with a higher grade shingle. And then outside of that, any areas that would be left open and unaddressed from here, what we're looking at in terms of repair, that would not cascade all across everything else, would then just be subject to future damages from State Farm in the future, which of course will be another claim. And then of course that's going to be labeled as a repair directly under the deductible again. And I just don't think that that's feasible, that that's a good way for State Farm to protect its liability, or a good way to actually take care of the families who need them in events like this, where, as already justified, the entire neighborhood shows signs of the same relevant damages that are on Miss Padilla's roof. It just so happens here, there is absolutely no way to repair properly without creating subsequent and consequential damages to the surrounding areas, which, you know, would sooner than later take over the whole roof. So with that, we've got clear signs of heavy mat transfer. I'm going to put a mark next to that, check mark. Got clear signs of creasing, got clear signs of cracking, got a little bit of delamination, and plenty of granular loss. And this is on the front side of the roof, even though the house is gable facing. So this is the front left side, but people can see this from the road and from the neighborhood, and doing a patch job of repairs all across this roof would definitely look terrifying, and then entirely lower the home value for resale. So that's not cool either. The most feasible option from every justified perspective is to take care of this roof in full. And we've shown clear signs of that would then be demonstrated by all standards as a fail of the repairability assessment. And with that, here's the shingle that we removed. And we will have this on the front porch for the initial RLS that the insurance company is requesting. And, you know, let's do this the right way, guys. Let's find the best solution. We can work together, two professionals, finding the best solution for one of the insured and making sure that things are done properly. Thanks.